few months ago, me and two of my closest friends went to Bourton on the Water. It has a fascinating history and is quite the quintessential English village, with a brilliant motor museum. So I thought I'd do a bit of a history video about it. Let's get to it, shall we? The History Corner. Bourton on the Water is a village within the county of Gloucestershire, England. It has a history dating back to the Neolithic period and has signs of continuous habitation since then. This includes throughout the Roman occupation of Britain. In 1862, a railway served the small village but was discontinued in 1962 after nationalisation. The village had started to see a rise in tourism in the 1930s, and then in 1937, the model village was built just as a small attraction. And the village centre is a United Kingdom conservation area. We went to Bourton on the Water near the end of March, and it had been the first time I had been there in years. We visited the bird sanctuary, model village, and a lot of the shops. It was a grand day out, and thought it could do with a history video. Bourton on the Water is a picturesque English village that encapsulates the Cotswolds, with most of the buildings and shops being built from ashlar yellow limestone that is characteristic of the Cotswolds. However, in the 1970s, a young motoring enthusiast would help put and keep Bourton on the Water on the map, and as one of the top villages to see within the United Kingdom. Mike Kavanagh was living in South Africa and spent 20 years collecting car and motoring memorabilia, from the tiny objects such as dashboard ornaments to the largest vehicles. When he returned to England, he opened the Cotswold Motor Museum in Bourton on the Water in 1978. He continued to collect and expand his exhibits for a further 20 years before finally retiring in 1999. The museum was taken over by the Civil Service Motoring Association, who were keen to keep the museum going. From 1999, the Civil Service Motoring Association continued to expand, and in 2006, 3 new galleries were opened. The collection is huge and has so many things to observe and study that you could easily spend an entire day just in the motor museum. The Cotswold Motoring Museum is housed within the old mill. Upon entering the old mill, you will see the museum entrance. And here is where we see the police box doors, which is rather apt because from the outside it does not look very big at all. But once you go through those doors, it is amazing on how much they have managed to fit within the museum, and it feels like it goes on and on. Within the museum there is a great variety of things to see, from the classic cars, but also recreations of traditional blacksmiths, motor shops, etc. And it is, in a way, like stepping back in time. Out of all the vehicles on display, one remains the most loved and famous. Yes, that's right, it is Brum. For those who may not know, Brum was a British children's TV series which aired between 1991 and 2002. The concept is rather simple. In the museum, between 2 big and beefy cars, sits this little yellow car that comes to life. Sneaking past Mike Kavanagh, and yes, that is him in the intro, he travels out into the world from the museum and helps folks in tricky situations and sometimes just plain ridiculous situations. Brum was produced and created by Ragdoll Entertainment, the same company that produced Rosie and Jim, Tots TV, and the show that gave me childhood nightmares, the Teletubbies. Brum was narrated by Toya Wilcox, and filming largely took place both in Bourton-on-the-Water within the actual museum and Birmingham, as in Britain, Brum is slang for Birmingham, and people from Birmingham can often be referred to as Brummies. Brum would go around the city saving the day and teaching simple lessons such as respect, perseverance, and so on. One of my favourite moments was the episode in which Brum has to stop an out-of-control narrow-gauge steam engine, which, as a kid, I found it very action-packed. Now, not so much, and the acting is so over the top it's comical, but that is the point. It is very cartoony comedy. Just take a look at this. Of course that would happen in real life. What are you saying? And it's not the only time Brum defied physics either. What about the time that he stopped a plane? That's the logical conclusion. How could you not know that would happen in real life? Yes, so Brum may be surrounded by some legendary vehicles and artifacts, but it is the little yellow car that helps keep the museum running, and it is an essential draw for Bourton on the Water. Now, I know that a lot of this video has been talking about the Motor Museum and Brum, but I think it is so fantastic that a small little village like Bourton on the Water has such a famous character living in the village and is still in the museum, there for you to go and see. Now, the village itself has a fascinating history, and I have dabbled a little bit here and there into that, but the museum just has such a big draw. But we got to remember, we also have the small model village and also the bird sanctuary, which Sir David Attenborough has been to. Sorry, Sir David Attenborough. He's been knighted twice. So good, he's knighted twice. What was really nice as well was we took my friend's little one with us, and it was just so nice to see, you know, another generation looking at Brum and going to see him just like we did when we were tiny little ones. So, yeah, it was just amazing. And so, Babs and Babettes, we've come to the end of this history video. I do hope you enjoy it, even though it was more a Brum documentary, really, than a history video. But sometimes it's just nice to do a video about places I've gone or went to. And it's good to give Brum a bit of recognition, seeing as it ended quite a few years ago. There was a 2016 remake just on YouTube, but it was atrocious CGI and just, yeah, no. But I do hope that you've enjoyed it nonetheless. A little bit different, but different I think is good. So I will see you in the next video. I'm going to let Brum sing us out. I'm going to put a few pictures and a few video clips of the day that we had there. And I shall see you in the next video. Before I go, remember to like, subscribe, if you want to. If you enjoy the content, please do subscribe. I've got to try and get the subscriber base up there if I can. But if you don't like my content, don't bother. I mean, why would you? But as for now, Babs and Babettes, I shall say tatty bye. Toodaloo, stay positive, keep calm, carry on. I did that in the complete wrong order, and God save the Queen!